In this video, I go drifting in Daily Race A. Daily Race B, I go crashing as we have a bit of a sandwich. And in Daily Race C, well, I go to the Shadow Realm as I head into the desert. Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025. And we have what we call a very short week as it's been cut. Now, why am I saying that, should I say? Well, all the tracks are the short circuits, or very quick circuits at least. And we start off with Suzuka East in the background in the brand new Gran Turismo car, the Honda N1. We're doing 5 laps here. It's weak slipstream, but arguably it's actually needed, to be honest with you. Grid start with no penalty check, so foot to the floor, comfort medium tyres, and of course we are in that Honda N1. No DR updates either for this race. Now, there's very few braking zones here. In fact, there's one. And the rest of it is just adjusting your throttle accordingly. So it's very hard to overtake here as well. So if you don't enjoy this kind of racing, well, there are some timestamps there to jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively if you want to check those out. However, we're not cutting this short this time. I'll stop the puns now. Okay, I'll stop the puns. We're going to jump into some key statistics here. We've used this track 4 times. It's around the 36th position, and the track was last used on the 12th of February 2024. Nearly a year and a half ago we used this track. Now, in terms of issues, it is hard to overtake and it's very easy to cut the last corner there, so that can get you a penalty. But if you are cutting it, you're cutting it, so the penalty can be deserved. Without further ado then, let's jump into this daily race and let's have a look exactly what happens. Who is in this race? And we got German Kiwi on pole, Sonic in P2. We're starting down in P number 9 there. And as I say, there is no penalty on this one. So foot to the floor. I'll put traction control on 1, which weirdly actually is needed, even though this car has about 1 horsepower. Probably why it's called the Honda N1, but hey, there we go. So we continue on there then, turning traction control off, getting ready for this race as we've already got some action up ahead here as we head down towards turn number 1. You do short shift this car, only a tiny bit, nothing major here as we go into this corner then, and we were side by side, not side by side anymore with Blue Racer who's put a wing on that thing. Oh, Shadow's there on our right hand side. I did not see Shadow at all as we continue on out of this corner. Now, I have sped this race up a tiny bit. It's on 125% rather than the normal 100%, which is live footage, so it's sped up a little bit here just because this car is so slow. So if you are thinking, wow, this is a bit faster than normal, that is the reason. We're now side by side, Mario Sonic trying to go around that left-hand side then as we go up to this left-hander. Going to be on the inside, going to be the outside for this final corner. We're still here then as we go into slight contact between the two of us. And look at this, max power down the inside there. Gets both of us as we go through here. Now, I wasn't sure whether I ran Mario Sonic off the circuit there. So we'll have a look at that one in the bloopers. We actually do catch up with the weak slipstream then, 2 max power as we head towards turn 1. Down the inside we go, really sending it there, and we do get that position. So back into P9, back where we started. Let's look up ahead and let's see if we can get any positions. So the end of lap 2 then, we're looking on the inside of Blue Racer. Can't quite do it here as we go around that final corner. Oh, Blue Racer's got our spots very nearly off the circuit there, so we need to keep in mind Blue Racer will have dirty tyres. So we go in this slipstream now as we head down towards turn 1 once again. Blue Racer goes defensive. The short shift here helping me out massively. Look at the boost that we had there. So you change around the 6,500 rev mark if you are wondering. We're coming through it on the outside line. Unfortunately, we go a bit too hard and we go sideways there, but we do manage to catch it. Tires hitting 9 billion degrees there down on those tire temps. And if you're wondering how to get them on your screen, you can't. I edit this in after, but there is a video in the description to check out there. We've got the Italian off there. Spots Fury's got off, so we get 2 positions. Back into P10 we go. Not quite where we started here then as we go into the S's for the penultimate time then. And there is line astern up ahead. So we've got Blue Racer, Mario Sonic, and, well, max power, but it's not max power, if you get what I'm saying here. We do get a run of max power, though. Going into this right-hander there. We just carried a bit more speed there. It's getting on the inside there. Side by side once again as we go through here. Up towards the left-hander. And then the final corner here. Double apex, I would call this. I won't call this 2 corners. Just 1 continuous corner. We're still on the inside here. Do we get the job done? Giving more room this time. That's how it should be here as we head towards the start-finish line to start that final lap. Now we're both fighting for the slipstream here. I did short shift a bit earlier, I would guess, because I do get ahead of max power finally here then. See me laughing my head off because I could see we were both fighting for that slipstream. So heading towards turn 1 we go then on the brakes. Trail braking all the way through his corner. Blue Racer's got a bit deep there. Marasonic as well. We're going to get on the inside of Blue Racer as we leave turn 1. We're going to head up towards the S's for this final time. Then Blue Racer just gets up ahead here as we go into this section. So now it's Linus' turn. It's very hard to get an overtake done. We did get max power here last time. If we can get the run through, I was looking there. Blue Racer defends that nicely as we go into this right-hander. Dab the brakes there. You don't need to dab the brakes, but a little bit of contact as well. Got to be careful of that as we go through this left-hander as we come up to this final corner. Then we go towards the right-hand side. However, you do have to be careful there because there is a cut. There is track limits. Blue Racer cut it. I cut it. 0.5, which rounds up to 1 second. So unfortunately, that is a big penalty on that final lap. So we lose positions and max power gets both of us. 6.5 out of 8 there. Sunday Cup, basically, as was mentioned in Discord. It's very fun indeed, that race. Much more fun than you realise. Now, this lap guide brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out down below. As we go in towards turn 1, then we got the start of the curb on the right-hand side. You actually want to start braking just after that leaves the screen. There is another little bit of marker up ahead that I was using, but that is last the late breakers, and you are pushing the limits if you do use that. That's when it hits the edge of your screen on the left-hand side. So what I do here is I come into this corner and then going to trail brake. I drop to 4th gear, still trail braking there. Notice I was around 50% for the majority of that. And then when I know the car is turned, I just hit the throttle there. I can't even speak at the moment as we continue on that. Now I'm going to turn here. I'm just going to turn later apexes for this car, okay, as you go into each corner. Notice that I'm turning a bit later and using all of weight of the car to then get the car turned in. So over towards the right hand side, once again, turn in later, aim for the green stuff. There we go. Continue on. Now as we get to this corner, this is a corner where you can lift. Go for later apex there. I just lift off a little bit here. I'm trying to maintain 65 miles an hour for those wanting a target there as we continue up here. Now, because I went a little bit wide there, I had to lift a little bit for this left-hander. Now, as we get to this point here, we get to our second and final marker. So you see how the curb then protrudes into the track. We're aiming for this curb, okay? We don't want to cut it. We saw we get a penalty as we did in the race. However, this is your lift-off marker, but you sort of want to maintain the throttle a little bit. Because this car has so little horsepower, it's all about maintaining the extra mile an hour. So I'm going to stay on throttle here, try and maintain that speed just that little bit longer, let the car's weight really get it around the corner, foot to the floor, head over towards the right-hand side then. As close to the barrier as you can. This is obviously reducing the length of the circuit. And we cross the line there with 109.563. And you can follow that lap on the leaderboard. We jump to Daily Race B where we head to another short circuit. We're at Brands Hatch and we're doing the Indy layout. So touring car nostalgia is going to hit you hard. What are we doing here then? 10 laps on custom slipstream, a rolling start on racing hard tyres. Of course, it is Group 4, so you can change that brake balance if you so choose. I chose the Genesis. Genesis looking strong. A lot of cars are very close here, to be honest with you. Genesis just does look quite strong. I did try the Alpha as well. Now, in terms of key statistics here, we've used this track 6 times, and we've used this track in combo 3 times. We last used it on the 9th of June in the Renault Clios, to be honest with you. It's easy to understeer off with this one, and close racing does mean contact, so it very much reminds you of touring cars. It very much feels like touring cars at points in this race. However, I do think this is very good racing and very fun racing. Let's jump into this one and let's have a look at what all that action is in the background. Right, here we are then at the start of this one. We got Very Brisket in at pole position. We're starting down in P15. We've got Max Power in the Cayman behind us. And if you are enjoying this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. If you do like the video, it tells me you enjoy this content and I will keep doing it. And a lot of you do enjoy the weekly race guides and I do find them very fun to do on the Monday morning. So as we go into here then, this is the end of lap 1, of course. Max Power slightly taps me up the rear there. We all get very close. The Constantina effect there coming into play as everyone gets really tight here. Lots of action coming up here. 10 laps. I think that's one of the largest number of laps we've ever had in Daily Race B here. And I do like this race. I do feel like there should be a little bit of strategy, just a tiny pit stop maybe. We've had that in touring cars in real life before. Just a mandatory pit stop to stop at some point, but hey, maybe not. We've got Pill there off, unfortunately, at Paddock Hill Bend. Slight tap from Max Power behind there, just getting the braking slightly wrong. Nothing major here either. Of course, people make mistakes. It is a very common thing to happen. So as we go into this left-hander, 2 Renault Megane trophies there, fighting side by side. Blue Racer just gets a bit of oversteer there, does catch it though, and goes off the circuit. It's going to have dirty tyres as we go into this left-hander. I was aware of that, and you can see Blue Racer in the rear view is going to go, in fact, somebody else is going off behind them as well. Look at that one in the bloopers. So going into here there, we just understeered a little bit, nearly to Ugandan Commando, who understeered even further than I did, and we've got a drag race to the line here at the end of lap number 2. So this racing is very frantic at this combination. Brands Hatch Indy's Group 4 cars, but I enjoy this one. This is a good daily race in my opinion. As we go through here then, still side by side through Paddock Hill. Very dangerous to do, but we managed to make that work there. Well played, Ugandan. As we go into this right-hander, slight contact up ahead. I think that was between Sonic and Norman. It all settles down up ahead briefly. We head down towards Graham Hill Bend. There's a slight tap between the Genesis of Norman and the Aston Martin of Shadows. We take full advantage of that one then as we head on to lap number 4 then. Paddock Hill, here we go. Sonic in a Scirocco there. My word, well played for picking that one, Sonic. As we continue on through here, heading up to Druids there. I was just going a bit defensive here to make sure that Renault Megane trophy did not go up the inside. So we continue on out here. We're very close to Norman right now as we head down towards this left-hander. We go on the brakes there. Slight tap from behind, which pulls me into the back of Norman there. And the server did start playing up in this race as well. The daily race B server play up. It happens every single week. I have no idea why. Not so much here on this particular incident, but later on in this race, oh my word, it's chaos. I can't remember if I've edited that in. Norman goes a bit deep there. Now it's fair game for that overtake. So we go to the very much inside line here versus the Genesis. Are we ahead is the question. Looks like we are ahead just here. We have to stay defensive though. Norman looking in my exhaust down my right side. Not going to go for it. We do have to overslow the car there to make sure we get this stopped for Paddock Hill. And we are through then up into P10. Sonic up ahead then. We're 1,000th purple. Look at that. Talk about every thousandth count. It does here actually in time trial, but we get onto that shortly. We get on the inside of the Scirocco then, but that front wheel drive car, very powerful in a straight line. Good to see that they have some strength at least here in that front wheel drive car. Gonna head towards Paddock here as we slow the car down then, looking to try and get it rotated. Not quite there. Scirocco looking very good there as well. We head up towards Druids. This is where front wheel drive cars struggle because the front wheels just have too much power, so they end up spinning on slower corners. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, you can hear them. You can hear them squealing there as we go down towards Graham Hill. Still defending this very nicely here. Good bit of racing here with Sonic then as we continue on through. This is what TCI is all about as well. It's why I made the team, you know. It's just to represent clean racing. That's what we have. We're doing some team versus team events now as well. And look at this. It's beautiful racing here with Sonic. So Sonic there defending very nicely. He goes into here. Just outbrakes himself a little bit with the release of the brakes. So I get on the inside then as we continue on through. But that's Scirocco. Very strong in a straight line, we know this, but we are ahead then, so we go defensive towards the right-hand side. What we're going to do now is actually go towards the racing line, so I was wondering whether Sonic was going to go for it. Sonic does go for it, sent it down there, so what I'm going to look to do then is get on the inside. Sonic manages to get it stopped very nicely indeed, but we just get alongside here then as we go towards Druids. Hard on the brakes once again. I thought I'd actually hit the brakes a bit too late there, but no, I hadn't. Nailed it perfectly. We continue on out of there in a P9. Beautiful racing there with Sonic. Really, really, really did enjoy that one. Really well played. And yeah, TCR battles are beautiful. We head towards the end of the race then. We didn't catch up to the next pack there due to all the fighting, but hey, it was well worth doing. We've also got Shelty and a Scirocco there in P4, but this is a fantastic race. It'll give you a bit of nostalgia if you ever played TOCA touring cars back in the day. 6.5 out of 8. And in terms of the point scoring system, do check out the pinned comment down below. It's got all the details there for you. Right, we're going to go into a lap guide now then. +5 brake balance on this Genesis, but of course you may choose a different car. But in terms of brake markers, turn number 1, we have a Marshall box on the left-hand side. So I'm braking for this one here then. This lap is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta apps. Do make sure you check that out in the description. You can see where the Marshall box is on that left-hand side here. You can either go to 3rd gear for this one or stay in 4th. It's entirely up to you in the Genesis. Obviously, other cars' gears may vary, but that's your choice here. Next brake marker then. On the left-hand side, we have the red painted barrier there. That is your brake marker for Druids. So I normally brake as it leaves the screen. Now, in some cars which have better brakes, you can brake after it leaves the screen, but I highly recommend you brake earlier for this corner than you realize, because if you go too deep, you end up just taking a weird line and actually losing quite a lot of time. So you try and maintain the speed through the corner in the Genesis, instantly on the throttle there in 2nd gear, accelerate out, head towards Graham Hill. On the right side then, we've got the green and the one board there on the right side. Really good brake markers for this. Now, if you want to use the curb up ahead, you can. Obviously, if you're aiming for the curb, you may clip the grass and spin out. But that's last of the late breakers, but it can work and it can improve your lap time. So just keep that in mind here. I'm using the one board there. I trail brake. I cut a little bit of the inside there to try and get a bit of rotation. We use all of the exit curb and then some. And as we head towards this fast left-hander, turn in at the one board there. I lifted off a little bit. You don't have to, but if you clip the curb, you're fine. If you don't clip the curb, you will have to lift. And as we head into this brake marker here then, so we've got the curb and we've got this brown patch in the middle. That's my brake marker. I'm going to brake in a straight line towards the outside, then release the brakes a little bit and trail brake in towards the corner. That's my plan at least here. So there we go. We brake, release, let the car turn in. Once we get towards that inside, we can accelerate through the corner and then stay towards the inside line. Reduce the length of the track here. Keep it towards that inside line. And as we head towards the start-finish line, this is a 47.69 something or another. There you go, 692. You follow that lap on the leaderboard if you so choose. We head to Daily Race C then, where we're at Willow Springs, Big Willow, and we are in a Group 3 machinery, and I'm in that Subaru BRZ right there. We're doing 15 laps here on custom slipstream. It's a rolling start on racing hard tyres, times 2 fuel, times 4 tyre wear, and you can adjust the brake balance. You do have to pit here on the racing hard tyres at some point, but whether you change tyres or not is entirely your decision. Now, in terms of the key statistics at this circuit, and I was very surprised by this. We've only used this track 3 times in GT7. Track car combo once, but it's definitely not in the top 10 used combos. And we last used this track on the 26th of May 2025, where we raced Group 4. In terms of issues then, there are no real overtaking spots here. It's all fast flowy corners. And the last corner, well, you can definitely head into the Shadow Realm there because it's a long, long, long way to the outside of the circuit. Without further ado then, let's have a look at this race. Let's have a look at that Subaru BRZ, but it's not the only car choice you could do here at Willow Springs. Here we are then at the start of the final race. We've got Blue Racer starting in pole there. We've got a couple of McLarens in this one. Max Power in the Audi R8 LMS Evo. And if you are enjoying this video, as always, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. The Greek driver there, backing off towards the back of the pack. Maybe not feeling confident about this race. I'm not too sure as we go in towards turn number 1. And speaking of confidence, by the way, I was way too overconfident there. Had to really back out of that one. Fortunately, the Max Power didn't catch up to me. We are going to fast forward here towards this intersection at Willow Springs. And look at this then. We've got a whole load of cars all very close together as we go into this right-hand. There's a bit of contact up ahead there. Kaz has had a bit of contact. I think Muscaffi's been involved in that. We head down towards this left-hander then. I was a bit dubious about being on this outside line. Unfortunately there, we do get tagged off the circuit and we're trying to recover this one. Now, Kaz is waiting up there. You can see that on the radar. And as I come back on the circuit, they are there. So I appreciate that. That's good sportsmanship. Mistakes do happen here. It's how you respond to that. You see my thumbs up. Fair play. Let's continue on racing. So my race completely changed here. We've got Huggy about to come out the pits then. Lap number 3. Well, lap number 2 they pitted. They're starting lap number 3 right now. So Huggy not changing tyres here then in that McLaren 650S. We'll see how that fares a little bit later on in this race. The Greek driver up ahead. Going to see me go past again for the second time here as I look on the inside. We are catching up to Huggy then in that McLaren 650S. We're in that Subaru BRZ here. As we get to the end of lap number 4, we've got somebody off in the distance. Somebody's been to the Shadow Realm there as we continue on through. Who's that? Oh, it's Sparks Theory. We'll have a look exactly what happened to Sparks in the bloopers, of course. More people going in the pits. And this is what's interesting about this race, okay? You can go in the pits and then you can not change tyres. Or you could maybe delay it a bit longer and actually change tyres. Because you can see there is some tyre wear here on the racing hard tyres. It's all about managing traffic, potential overtakes. It's a lot of strategy in this race, and I do enjoy this. This is what I find fun because you've got multiple ways of doing this race and really trying to reap the reward from that. And your strategy may get impacted by other people's strategy because they're also thinking about it. So this kind of race is nice. Now, we are trying to overtake Huggy here. You're seeing how difficult it is to overtake. Huggy defending very nicely here as we go into this right-hander. I'm looking to try and get on the inside. Doesn't quite work here in that Subaru BRZ. We are going to look to try and cut a lot of the curb there, going towards the left-hand side. We get that slightly wrong there. We miss the apex completely. That does compromise us on the exit as we continue on out of here, and Huggy gets that little bit of a gap then. So lap number 6 then, here we go in towards this long right-hander, and you see a gap has just opened up here. It's a Subaru BRZ size gap as we go through here. I have to be very cautious there on the inside. Huggy gave me room there as well as we head towards this left-hander then, looking to slow it down. If we get past Huggy, we can really try and escape and get some freedom here with clean air. But we have a bit of a wiggle there as we go through this corner. That's unfortunately cost a bit of time. A little bit of contact there with Huggy, nothing major as we continue on through here. And there are some people who have pit behind us now catching up as well. So in this one, I'm actually the odd one out here strategy-wise. You're probably going, Tidge, why are you trying to fight Huggy so much if you still need to pit? I'm trying to escape here to try and build some gap to some of the drivers up ahead. Unfortunately, I couldn't get past Huggy. Huggy defended very nicely indeed there. So I make the decision here. I'm losing too much time now to go in the pits. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to change tyres. Because for me, I'm about halfway into this race and I think I'll benefit from a change of tyres. The front left was wearing down quite a lot here. And obviously the Subaru BRZ, being the front engine rear wheel drive car that it is going to suffer with front tyres just wearing that bit more. So your car choice may be significant this week as well. So we advance to lap number 9 here. We catch up to Max Power and Bilson. We've not seen Bilson in a little while. Nice to see you here then. So R8 versus McLaren versus a Subaru BRZ, which of course is what I'm in there. So max power goes towards that left-hand side, and as we go in towards this long right-hander, it just continues and continues, and it goes straight a little bit. Then we get all these brake markers here. So we go hard on the brakes. Bilson there slowing down. Maybe let me go, I'm not too sure there, but we go around the outside of Bilson then, looking to carry the speed as we go on to the start-finish right here. And we've got a run on max power as well right now as we continue on. We're going to go towards that left-hand side then, and here we go. And we do get past max power. I think max power actually lifted there as we go into this left-hander. So we get 2 positions in one go there. Thumbs up there for letting me go. I appreciate that. And we catch up to the Greek driver again. 3rd time's the charm here with Arison. So as we go through this right-hander, we're looking to try and get there, but the gap is not there, so we can't make a gap. We can't force them to make a gap. However, they do run a little bit wide there, so we get the position once again back from that Greek driver there, Aris. So we advance towards the final lap. We catch up to Shelty and Huggy. It's a TCR battle once again. We had a few of them in this video. Here we go then, as we head towards the what I would call the kink here. Not actually sure exactly what the corner name is, and we continue on through here. So Shelty in the Alfa Romeo 4C. I did think about that car actually, but we are in the slipstream right now, and watch my face because I'm about to go. Yes, I'm coming for you, Shelty. Why? The hunting guys are on. Right, okay, through the right-hander we go then, and where can we make the move? Now, you can go for a move down the inside here. I'm still making my intentions clear. Hoggy then has to slow down there due to understeer. We then go into the back of Shelty, and it's all quite funny at the end of the day. We saw what happened. You know, everyone's apologizing to each other after in Discord because it's a funny moment. Hoggy just ran a bit deep, had to oversaw the car. Shelty was going for the move on Hoggy. I was going for the move on Shelty. All fun and games there, and we do finish that race there. So a very interesting race, if I do say so myself then. And in terms of scores, 6.5 out of 10. Again, it's a bit hard to race here, and you'll see all the details of the point scoring system down in the pinned comment below. I even give reasons why they've got 0.5 or 0. Here's a lap guide then, brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check out that Delta app. It will help you improve performance and help you build your speed up in this game. Now, +5 brake balance for the Subaru BRZ. And as we head towards turn number 1, on the left-hand side, we have these poles holding up the fence. The second to last one is my brake marker. So as it leaves the screen, I'm going to hit the brakes and chuck the car in. The BRZ can carry a lot of speed here, so depending on your car will depend on where you brake. But use that second to last post. It is very beneficial. Now, as we go into this corner, once again, depending on the car, I will repeat myself quite a few times in this one, is what you do here. So that tyre marker there, that is your lift-off marker and turn-in marker in the BRZ. In some other cars, you're going to have to just dab the brakes just a tiny bit here, okay? So judge it accordingly. This car has a lot of downforce, so it can get around very nicely. Now, what we're looking for here is that tower there, that radio tower. It's very hard to see on the video, but trust me, when you're racing, you see it very clearly. That is your accelerating marker. So as it gets towards the center, you should be more and more on throttle, okay? So just look out for that tower. That's when you judge when to start accelerating. I've gone quite early here, but this car has a lot of downforce, so I can go early. Continue on steering through here, head over towards the right-hand side. Our next brake marker now is that 50 board right there. We're braking just before we get to the 50 board, in fact, okay? Now, you actually want to stay out wide a little bit longer than normal here. So sometimes you'll just turn in a bit too early here and you'll just run wide. Stay out wide a little bit longer and then go for the later apex, and it will benefit you a lot for this lap. So notice how I do there. I then get it turned in and then accelerate through. Okay, I still went to turn in a bit too early, but it wasn't as early as what the mistakes normally happen. Now, as we go through this right-hander, I'm looking for the end of the curve. Now, you see here, I'm braking quite early here. I've lifted off the throttle, I've started to brake. It's all about slowing the car down gradually for this corner, because you want to use a little bit of the downforce here, but you don't want to overslow the car. So in there, I'm going on throttle now to try and balance the car on exit. The BRZ is very slippery on the exit there. Do be careful. Now, as we go to this left-hander, you don't have to abuse this track limits, okay? Because sometimes this bump will shut you off. But notice there, I've kept my left tyres on the circuit. My right tyres are in the dirt. I'm looking for the end of the curb here. That is my brake marker. I'm braking in a straight line. I'll release the brakes as I turn in here, and hopefully I should get very near the curb. There we go. Happy days. We can instantly go on the throttle then, and then continue on towards the very, very, very long right-hander. And we will fast forward this bit as well because it's all flat out. So keep towards the inside, then you're going to head out towards the left-hand side. And what you're looking for here is that 100 board. Arguably, you can look at the 150 board and just lift off. But the 100 board is your key marker now, okay? So when I get to this point here, I'm going to start braking. Now, I'm braking in the middle of the circuit. Notice I'm not on the left-hand side. That's because you'll end up in the dirt if you're on the left-hand side. So in the middle there, I'm trail braking, instantly trying to get on the throttle to abuse the downforce in this particular car. You may have to delay the throttle in other cars, but you're looking for those boards to really get the car turned in. Just don't stay out left to the left-hand side there on that corner because you will go off the circuit. That's it in terms of a lap guide then, and here we go with the bloopers. So here's Mario Sonic then. As we go into slight contact with Mario Sonic, I don't think that was anything major from my perspective. As we continue on through here, this is what I was really concerned about. And okay, so I was already ahead there. I didn't actually run Mario Sonic off. I was a bit concerned about that. If it was a bit closer, then I would say that I did run him off, but I was ahead at that point. So as we go into this right-hander, was there any contact with Blue Racer? I wasn't sure. No, it's just me going too aggressive there and then catching the car. Look at that, my word. It does like to transfer that weight quite drastically here. So this is Pill then as we go in towards the right-hander. Oh, didn't get the car turned there at all. Understeered off. And then going to come back on then. What's going to happen now? Here's Sonic. So it comes on very nicely indeed. Well played with that return to circuit there. As we go into this right-hander. Max Power alongside them. What we're actually going to do is jump to Max Power here, because this is just after that incident. As we go to here, Max Power's actually going to mount the curve a bit too much there. Slightly tagged Pill, who misses Blue Racer. Really good avoidance there. But unfortunately, due to the dirty tyres now, it's going to go off the circuit. Max Power, the good sportsman that he is going to wait. So nice to see this again. I love showing good sportsmanship. This is what you should do in reality. Right, we've got Kemp here then. This is Kaz, if you remember from the race sense. This is going to involve my incident. So slight contact with Muscafi there as we go into this right-hander. There's, oh yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's a racing incident between those cars there. Going to continue on down here then. So you can see plenty of space left here as we go through. Just understeers. It's the smallest of understeer there. Just too much brake, a little bit less brake there, and I don't think it would have hit me. So that's very unfortunate, but I appreciate waiting up. Here's about me, what I was talking about earlier, staying to the left-hand side. This is what happens. Sparks goes absolutely flying because you were too far to the left-hand side. So you need to make sure you're braking more towards the middle of the circuit. So Sparks going to come on and actually go into the pits. Unfortunately for Sparks, though, that's not his only entrance to this area and goes truly to the Shadow Realm this time. Goes in between the barriers, which is a brutal way to actually crash in this race because you've actually got to go all the way out to then come back on the circuit. But yeah, Sparks not having the greatest time here. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. That's going to be it for me now, folks. Do check out those two videos there and check out my partners down below. Fanatec, GT, Amiga, and Coach Dave Academy. And make sure you do check out that Delta app. But as always, big thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.